Hello, welcome to another video. Today, different surroundings, outside, in the sun, and it's like, what, week into September almost now, so it's a really nice change. Managed to actually sit outside and enjoy it a little bit. Day off work today, which is always good, but obviously I'm here to discuss a few magazines, and today was having a look at some recent pickups. So the first one I'm going to actually start with is Retro Gamer, which has just celebrated its 250th issue, which is absolutely fantastic. You know, for magazines to be going that long, there's not that many anymore. You know, even things like CVG didn't really last as long. Oh no, CVG just a little bit longer, but it's getting there. You know, like another 2 years and it'll surpass CVG with, you know, a number of issues as well. Obviously things like Edge and PC Gamer have been a couple that have been going for absolutely ages. Again, you got things like Linux Format as well, but there's not that many, you know, so to get to 250 issues is absolutely amazing. So basically I have already opened Retro Gamer, but bought this from shops and it came in a paper bag, celebrating Rare, which obviously is a massive company. You know, started out as Ultimate Play the Game, and inside here is the magazine artwork done by someone called Will Overton. Absolutely amazing artist who worked for Rare and also did the artwork for Super Play magazine, my favourite mag, and also N64 mag and others. So with this you also get a little Rare game guide as well. So it's just like, what, I think A6 size, is it? A5? Maybe A6? A5-ish? God, I can never remember my paper foldings. But in here you've got, I'm not going to show it all, but going through key games in Rare's catalogue, and obviously there's quite a lot of them. It's going through, you know, like from start to end. So, you know, it's showing things like Jetpack and Saber Wolf, going on to Nightmare on Elm Street on the NES. Just quickly hold that up. It might be a bit harder to see with you know, different light surroundings. And what else have we got? Killer Instinct and Monster Max. Just been looking at Monster Max in a GB Action mag. So there's quite a lot here. I mean, it's going on to Perfect Dark Zero as well. Remember playing that on the Xbox 360 when a mate got one dead early on. You know, it was a good game. And then it's going all the way up to things like Battletoads and Sea of Thieves and stuff like that. So plenty covered in these 30 odd pages, and then a list of all the other games. So it just shows how many they've actually done. It's a nice little extra, really, you know. But then, like I say, we've got the actual main magazine here as well. So you've got things like a lot of popular Rare characters there, Banjo and Kazooie. You've got Joanna Dark, you've got Saberman, you've got Conker here as well. So, you know, if you're into your Rare games, you're going to recognise these characters easily. So let's have a quick look in the magazine. I'm not going to go through it all, but it is well worth getting this one, because even if you're not into Rare, there's quite a few things in it as well. So to have a flick through there, I'm just going to get to some Elite Memories from Paul Rose, and then we've also got an interview by Faith Johnson, friend of ours, and she's done an interview all about the upcoming first-person shooter documentary. I'm not going to show too much on it, you know, but yeah, and then you've got this massive Rare celebration, right? So I think when I flicked through, it was about 20 odd pages. So there's a lot of stuff here. Interviews with a load of you know, key people involved, you know, with so many games over the years, and it's just going through the eras of the arcade era, nicely broken down into chronological order. Like I say, the NES and SNES era. Obviously a lot of memories there for me, with the SNES being my favourite console. You know, so you're looking at things like Donkey Kong Country, Killer Instinct, stuff like that. The N64 era. I'm not going to show everything, but really nicely laid out. And then it's going on talking about lost games as well, so a few games which were meant to come out and then obviously got cancelled for various reasons. You've got Ultimate Guide to Jet Set Willy by Graham Mason. Again, Graham's obviously a great writer. You know, always busy, always getting stuff printed. It's great to see. You know, when I saw him at the Zap Live, God, was it last month? Yeah, last month. So it's always good to see Graham. Then we've got a making of New Zealand story there, done by David Crooks, who's obviously wrote things for Pixel Addict and Amiga Addict as well. So it's great to see, you know, his work covering a great game as well. New Zealand story is still a lot of good fun. Then we've got the history of sensible soccer, looking at the different iterations, is it, of sensible soccer, and also what led to it. So I think was it Micropro Soccer first of all, but again going through the different cover discs as well, something that I know that we've touched on in Amiga Addict before, you know, like all the little variations of sensible soccer. And then we've also got a making of Jurassic Park game, quite a lot of versions of this, and some of these are actually being re-released. I almost said re-released for 30 years of the game. So quite a lot to go through there, because it's a good 6-7 pages. And then from Lewis Packwood, we've got the Ultimate Guide to Gran Turismo as well. I'm not going to again show too much, but obviously Gran Turismo's got its fans. Something that I'd be absolutely awful at. There we have, we've got some drilling or sawing. Sorry about that. And then we've also got the making of Grand Theft Auto Vice City. One of my, well, not really, I say favourite games. It's a game I spent a lot of time on, you know, it really is. So yeah, hopefully the drilling or sawing will stop in a sec. See this way, I just record in the bedroom, you can close the windows and everything, do something different. Anyway, only just begun doing that, sod's law. So one thing that I do like is this, and it's looking at some of the key tracks and all the soundtrack of Vice City, because with that it adds like the actual soundtrack CD box set brought out when I worked at Game Station, and it was absolutely brilliant, you know, because this is before Spotify and everything like that. So to get, you know, these great compilations in CD box set, absolutely brilliant. And then what else have we got? We've got a few reviews towards the end. Evercade cartridges, a quick look at Antstream Arcade, making of Pig Quest, that's coming out on NES as well as previously released on C64. And then what else? We've got things like, this is quite a nice thing, I'm not going to go into too much. We've got it covered, so it's like the writers of a magazine discussing some of their favourite covers for over the 250 issues. But yeah, well worth checking that out, really. And then the other video that the other thing I'm going to mention, sorry, is the other recent add-ons to the collection. Additions, I should say. A few issues of ST Action magazine. So basically these ones are from like 1991 and start in 1992. So the ST was still popular at the time, it was still getting quite a bit of software, but I'd probably say 6 months down the line it was really starting to fade away, you know, as the Amiga's really taking that foothold. And yeah, it was sort of, well, even 12 months on, so by middle of 1992 that's it, you know. You got so many letters sent in where it's like, is this coming out of the ST? No. Is Monkey Island 2 coming out of the ST? No. Is such a game coming out of the ST? No. Eventually a few software houses actually released their stuff, but it took, you know, a lot of persuasion from magazines such as ST Action, ST Format and stuff. So the other thing that I've just got, so I'm trying to collect issues 30 to 68 of ST Action, mainly because issue 30 is when I started buying it, late 1990, and then it went up to issue 68, which was the last ever issue, which came with ST User. Make sure I get that right this time. I know I did another video on a later ST Action in the 50s, but I've just managed to get hold of recently. Issue 60 to I think 65, I think it is. So we're talking some quite late ones here. Again, I'm so sorry about the drilling. And I always forget things like this. Batman Returns, you know, like I don't think this even got released on the ST. But there we go. It got obviously a cover story there. Zool eventually did come out, but it took quite some time. And then also you've got Pushover 2, One Step Beyond. So by this point, it's down to like 68 pages. You know, it's quite thin. Still £4. This is September 1993, so it ended a couple of months after this. There's 2 more on the newsstand, 2 which I need to get because I'm still missing. I think it's 6 issues. And then I've got this 30 to 68 run. But by this point, so issue 65, September 93, you've got the Falcon advertised on the back. Not many magazines cover the Falcon too much. I know they sometimes do like a bit of news story, you know, to fill pages and stuff. But then what you get on a lot of these, you've got disc magazines on the disc. So it's called, I think, Freestyle, was it? Yeah, Freestyle. So I can't remember what actually went onto these discs. I don't know if it was like reviews and things like that. I want to see if there's like, you know, the files put up somewhere, you know, like on Internet Archive. And there we go. I'm just going to look at this one because it's the latest one I've got here. Zool is available now for the ST, £26. Almost a year after the Amiga though. You know, around this time it's coming out on nearly everything else. But you know, the ST, probably one of the last big commercial titles. You know, we've been waiting quite some time. But there we go. Paul McNally, editor of this one, friend of the show, magazines and podcasts and everything. He's helped me out quite a bit as Paul. So you've got things like the layout there for the disc. Not too much on it because obviously there's not a lot of games that can actually, you know, add to it. And then what have we got? We got even like the charts. Champ Manager 93 at number 1. Sensible Soccer, Civilization in your top 3. Not a bad chart, really, is it? You know. And then we've also got. Look at this! Oh my god. Yeah, that's what I actually show you. But basically, this is in silica. So this is end of 93. 520 STFM Discovery Pack. So it's not VE. £149. So really cheap, really cheap. The Falcon there is looking at about £1,000, so big difference. Our 1040 STE at £300, which isn't too bad, I don't think. Oh no, that's Music Master. Sorry. Oh, is that? Is that with finger? Yes, it is. I think. Yeah. God. So yeah, it just shows how you know much the price has dropped off for the ST at the end of 93. So we've got One Step Beyond, a game I've never actually played. I remember Pushover. They've given it a good rating there, 86%. You know, it's probably, I think ST owners by that point were really desperate to play anything. I mean, it was on day I got rid of my ST, but because I've been buying the magazine for so long, I still wanted to support it, you know, and carry on buying it. I mean, obviously it was only a few more issues and then that was it. You know, you can see how thin it is. Lots of budget re-reviews and stuff like that, you know, so Operation Stealth and Pirates, still good games and everything like that, but I suppose it's anyone who maybe have got an ST quite late on, you know, it's like there is and here we go, another couple of budget games, you know, it's another option for them. So we've got Addams Family, fantastic platformer there, and then next to it we've got Zack McCracken and the Alien Mindbenders, a game I absolutely love, one of my favourite point and click games, getting 90% there. So you think by that point it's been out for 4 or 5 years. And then what else? Chase HQ 43%, not good. The Immortal 89%. Beast lots of reviews, but they're all budget or re-reviews. You know, with 1 or 2 new ones. We've got a poster here for One Step Beyond, still intact. I think how old that is now, 30 years. And then what else? Midwinter, another re-review. The Patrician, game never ever played, 78%. And then what else have we got? We've got players guides here for Creatures, I've said before, these maps were a great addition, you know, if you were bad at games, which I really was, you know, and then a guide for Firefight. Then we've also got some public domain titles as well, popular. I mean, I tell you what, I can't really have a go on for covering public domain because even, God, we're getting blurred out of sun almost. Even by this point, the Amiga was still covering public domain, you know, quite a lot, and obviously the Amiga had a lot more commercial life left in it. So it's a nice little piece to include. We've also got a 3-page feature here: how to get a job playing games. So the thing is, this is the type of thing I loved, you know, as a kid, because this is all I wanted to do. Now to a point, I actually do it, and there we go. So it's interviewing a couple of the staff on the mag. You know, what did you do before this? What's the day like? Any advice? Stuff like that. And then we've also got a couple of previews here. Suburban Commando, Nick Faldo's Golf. Letters page. We still have the buyer's guide. So, you know, at this point, you've got 4 pages of recommended titles. 4 pages of recommended titles. So at this point, you've not got that many shops selling ST games. You know, I know that for a fact, because even when I used to go to one called Software Superstore over in Bolton, that ST range was going smaller and smaller. Even by, I'd probably say 92, again, like I just mentioned earlier, it was dying off. So you'd still go into things like Future Zone. You might have a couple, but it was mainly the mail order pages, you know, you had to get these titles from, and some of those titles on the 4 pages are quite you know, old as well now. Just quickly show you this just for contrast. So that's the one I just looked at was September 93. So if I just say have a look at we'll say October 91, so 2 years before, with this, with Switchblade 2 on the cover. So this is 2 years earlier. Not much thicker though. It was still only 80 odd pages, but the paper quality was a lot thicker and a lot heavier. So again, like loads of reviews and stuff. What you're not going to get is all the budget re-reviews. You know, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 reviews. I mean, it was quite a few in that, but like I say, mainly re-reviews. And looking back here, it just, I say sign of the times, even though it's like 2 years before, things like Final Fight coming out on ST. I remember getting that and wasn't that blown away by it. I just go through just a couple of quick things that jump out. Some dot matrix printers here, done by, I think it's Silica. Yeah, Silica. And in the next Pixel Addict that we're doing, there's a feature on a couple of dot matrix printers. I'm going to quick look back, nothing too in depth. I don't think printers for everyone's cup of tea. Number 1 in the charts, Gods, Fantasy World, Dizzy and Hero Quest. On the demo disc, you know, so much better. I mean, you got a couple of demo discs a lot of the time. Only 1 on this issue though. Switchblade 2, brilliant game. And Prehistoric, a good platformer as well. So 2 really good games there. And then you got a massive advert there for Games X, one of my favourite magazines. Only lasted a year, well, just under. And like I say, I'll quickly go through this. We've still got a page of PD games there as well. And then we've also got a feature on film tie-ins. Something that I've covered for Amiga Addict quite some time ago now, probably about 2 years ago, when I did a piece looking at a few favourites. So we've got things like Hunt for Red October, is really the only film tie-in there. This game's great. Quickly show you this. Hunter. I'm sure that anyone who's got an Amiga or ST has played this. Absolutely brilliant. Really, really good score as well. I loved playing this as a kid. You know, it's something that I'd really, really recommend. Then a game called Life or Death. I'm going to go through this quickly because I know that I've been going on for absolutely ages. And again, cheers for bearing with us going through the drilling or sawing, whatever it was. You can see I'm not really into DIY if I'm struggling to guess what the sound is. See, it'd be awful at a game like that, guess the sound. Anyway, prehistoric, got a decent review there. What did we give it? There we go. So quite a good platformer. I think that might be on Antstream at the moment. If it is, well worth checking out. And then you've just got guides to Hero Quest, something that was needed at times, and Monkey Island, something